The outback town of Bourke is a long way from anywhere, from Melbourne, and even from its nearest neighbour towns. It's a long way north too, further north than Sydney, even further north than Woomera. We travelled to Bourke from Walgett. Was there a message here? After the recent rains and floods, the outback here, normally dry and brown, was at least green. Nonetheless, it seemed to have no respect for our 60-year-old car. We arrived in Bourke with its long history of camel trains, supplanted by fleets of paddle steamers, and finally by roads, ready to start the high life.
Let's go slumming, take me slumming. Let's go slumming on Park Avenue.
Without a doubt, Bourke's most admired building is its courthouse. We were looking for the high life in the cafes and on the streets.
Let's go smelling where they're dwelling.
Bourke these days seems almost eerily quiet, but it's not like some struggling outback communities nearby. Bourke is growing steadily and strongly. Maybe there isn't a lot to do, but Bourke is in fact a lucky town. Far from the rest of the world, information and communication is important out here. The local radio station lives on this.
The news is so important to this radio station. It's the top thing that we do. And we have nearly 60% of all the listeners between Broken Hill and Goondiwindi. We have a huge coverage area. The next closest station to us was the ABC with about 22% of the listeners. So the regional news is very, very important to us.
Time now to see what we'd come for. The Darling in full flow. On board the historic Jandra steam paddle boat. Sound the whistle to round the blind bend in the river as we approach the North Bourke Bridge. Built in 1883, it was one of the first lift-span bridges to cross the Darling. It was constructed in England and brought upstream in sections by paddle steamer. It serves only as a footbridge today. After revelling in the past for a while, we return to the communications of today. There is a community Aboriginal radio station.
Canberra partly cloudy 19, and Darwin mostly sunny today 32.
Lightning Ridge mostly sunny at 27, the Warren is sunny at 26 and Bourke sunny at 25 degrees. You're listening to 2Cuz FM, it's 5.5 minutes past 11.
I don't like their photos being taken.
No, especially Aboriginal people, because apparently
that's right.
they apparently take their spirit.
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah.
That's us on air streaming to the world.
Really?
Yeah, and on the World Wide Web.
Me off with my program today is Lynn Anderson with Rose Garden and Randy Travis with 1982.
It's going to be shut down, and I put my foot down and said, no, we're not going to shut down. We're going to actually stand our ground here, because as soon as we stop transmitting, we lose our licence. So for 12 months on very little money, I actually kept this place running, looking at being self-sufficient within 3 years.
I think, and she did some linguistic...
Together with Dennis and Aldo at this community radio station is also Angie, a language specialist.
That's one of the languages here. And Dot Martin, who you might have seen around the corridor, she's an Yinpa woman.
Right.
Yeah, so that's one of the local
I
tribes.
see.
And this is a Murawari word, and it was often used towards children when children are being cheeky or mischievous or just annoying the parents in general.
Yes.
So if the parents are trying to relax or are concentrating hard and the kids are running around and mucking around and being loud, and the parents might say, "Oh, get out of here. Go away, you Gumulbari kid."
This dish here fires the signal up to the Optus satellite that goes down into Alice Springs. Alice Springs then feeds it into their own, in Padre feed it through their own system.